So that is one of the results, again, of the tradition being a tradition rather than some absolute truth. Sometimes you can wonder, sometimes you can read some of the commentarial works of Buddhism, and they say that Pali is like a sacred language. It is the language which a baby, if it grows up and it doesn't learn any other language, it will speak Pali automatically. That is one of the things it says in some of these commentarial works. And of course, to me, I think it is. It's funny because somebody obviously must have believed that, but it is so strange to my modern way of thinking that people actually could believe this. And it really goes against the way the Buddha taught. And we have to remember that these things are traditions which can be adapted, this is what the Buddha himself said, to our modern setting here. And not only the language he used was part of the tradition in those days, even some of the teachings he used were part of the tradition of India in those days. For example, the Buddha had, of course, some of his most profound teachings are the teachings of non-self. And those teachings were in direct contrast to the teachings of Brahmanism, of Hinduism in those days. Because Hinduism taught about a universal self, a universal consciousness. Whereas the Buddha said, well, actually, my awakening experience tells me there is no such thing here. So for that reason, you find in the word of the Buddha that he specifically talks about these beliefs that the Brahmanas had in those days. And he addresses those beliefs directly. So you find the teachings of other teachers in there because they are addressed by the Buddha. And of course, in exactly the same way, in today's world, we have to address the issues which are the important issues for us in exactly the same way. The idea of a universal kind of God or universal soul or universal consciousness is of course important even now. But of course also we have to address other religions. We have to talk about Buddhism versus Christianity versus Islam. What are the differences? What are the similarities? We have to address all the questions that our modern world throws up for us. Things like stem cell research, euthanasia, abortion, all these kind of things. We have to address these issues because they are important in our day and age. And we have to have Buddhist answers. This is the only way that Buddhism is going to be relevant in our society. We have to address all these issues. That is exactly what the Buddha was doing. He was addressing the issues of his days, in particular the issues that had to do with profound religious teachings.